looking at, see if we've got rangers.
Yeah.
Her head, like, folds come all up. She was too cool. Oh, rangers. It's ripping her hair.
What's that? I don't know. What's that? What? You okay if we join you? That's right.
Hi.
Oh, here. Sure.
I have an extra one. Oh, doesn't matter. Here, fine.
I'm her, on the Hanatsy side. Yeah. Nice to meet you too. Sean. Oh, okay. Okay.
Would the congregation please rise? Please be seated.
Good morning. My name is Karen Thomas, and Kim was my aunt. I was honored to be asked to chair my aunt's funeral services and take part in honoring her life and the memories she created. I'll be leading the ceremonies with the Reverend, and we're going to begin the service with Ohno, with the Reverend Izumi dedicating Kim's name.
오묘지요 오묘 사건이 부조 2021년 12월 30일 작업 교내 94살 Presentation of Buddhist name Buddhist name Shakuni Fujiyo meaning all is settled. It is hereby presented to the late Mrs. Kimiko Ohno, who passed away on December the 30th in 2021 at the age of 94 years. Take refuge in the Buddha for guidance. Take refuge in the Dharma for guidance. Take refuge in the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha.
We are now going to start the sutra chanting, which will be found on screen. And as we do that, we'll be doing the Oshoko. I'll call up the immediate family names to offer incense, followed by anyone else who would like to offer this as well.
Namo Amitabha.
Oh, stop for a minute.
無所殺道公明水晶変水晶は陽霊少女霊人南陽流和尚国道第一号正規尿道上層国上内四に無闘争がとはいえ陽脱一切実法来昇進の少女伊藤が国計六安の高度神妙霊が新章十安の日歴少少有一方在三地へ無上要領し三地が神領計量神し小空独中家業小へ人形風景ナマンナマナマンナマナマンナマナマンナマナマンナナマンナ元にしかなく平等性一切両数五大神往生アルラパクMay the virtue of the sacred name Namamizavata be given equally to all sentient beings, and may we all aspire for birth in the pure land of peace and serenity. Namamizavata Namamizavata Namamizavata.
Could everyone please stand and we will sing verse 1 and 2 of the Gatha Nadame. And the words are on the screen. In this part of the program, we'll be doing the memorial tributes and memories we have of Kim. We're going to start with the memorial tributes from her granddaughter and grandson, Ashley and Braden.
Kimiko was put on this earth to do is to be a grandma. Although we may be biased, she was one of the most loving and caring people we knew. She would drop everything to help us, whether it be from picking us up from school because we were sick or taking us to the park because we were simply bored. Our fondest memories of her were helping her out in the kitchen, from making manju, sinbit, apple squares, to even jam and pickles. It's safe to say that we never went hungry under her roof. She always made sure that dinners were full of an assortment of side dishes, knowing that our childhood pickiness would weed out a handful of them. Tea time was always a thing in our grandparents' house, and it was always filled with our favorite pastries and savory snacks. Although, as a child, I didn't appreciate her one glass of milk rule, I now know that she just wanted us to be happy and healthy and wasn't actually trying to torture us. I will now also take this time to apologize to her for hiding all my Flintstone vitamins in between her couch cushions.
Iced tea, black tea, cookie jars, apple squares with cheap vanilla ice cream. That was Grandma's house. Our grandma always made sure that we felt special, from taking us on spontaneous picnics to showing us off at church bingo. She was an amazing woman with an endless amount of love to give. We would like to thank her for so many things, from putting up with our constant fighting, dealing with our hand hockey games in the living room, and showing by example what true unconditional love looks like and feels like. Most of all, we'd like to thank her for teaching us the simplicity of life and showing us that it's not about the big extravagant things that matter in life, but it's those small little things that stick with you forever.
Auntie Kim was the last of the Hanatsu from her generation. So I wanted to honor her memory by gathering from my cousins and siblings who all truly wanted to be here and are live streaming their memories of the time with Kim. I'll only be reading a portion of what they wrote, but the full write-ups are going to be given to Kenny. Neil will be talking about his own memory at the very last. I'm going to start with the Tataby family, followed by the Hanatsu families. Albert was the oldest nephew, and his memory is when my mom was diagnosed with diabetes and in the hospital after giving birth to Rod, Dad had a problem deciding what to do with 3 kids at home and having to go to work as Mom was going to be in the hospital for 2 weeks. Dad contacted Kim, who came over and looked after us for the whole period Mom was in St. Mike's Hospital. It was a real godsend for all of us. This past summer, we went to visit Auntie Kim. Ken met us there. Even with her dementia, when we saw and greeted her, she recognized who I was. I will never forget her smile and how strongly she held my hand. Sorry. As we were leaving and we said our goodbyes, I gave her a hug, and she again held my hand strongly and didn't want to let go. This was my last memory I have of Auntie Kim, and I will never forget this visit. Joni Balin is Auntie Kim's niece on the Tataby side. I'll always remember her generosity in sharing her creativity and enthusiasm. I was probably only 5 years old when she taught me how to embroider the lazy daisy, the running stitch, and the French knot. I still use these stitches in my fiber art projects that I do today. We embroidered pillowcases and those tea towels with days of the week, usually from old rice bags. She taught me to knit and crochet. My crochet doily did not meet her standards, so she completed my home ec project, which I promptly handed in and received top marks. Most of all, I will always remember her loud, genuine laugh and smile. She always made me feel so happy to be near her. Rest in peace, Auntie Kim. Del Tataby Pollard, Auntie Kim's niece. As a kid, I will always remember going to your house on 1st Avenue North to visit Auntie Kim and Uncle Frank and yourself, of course. Auntie Kim always had something scrumptious baking in the oven. Her goodies were over the top and, no surprise, engorged by me at a minute's notice. She was a master baker, in my opinion. I cannot thank your mom enough, Kenny, for her willingness to share so many of her talents with me. I'm a better person because of her. I'm sorry for your loss. Rod Tataby, Auntie Kim's nephew. Who could forget Boxing Day celebrations at First Avenue North with Auntie Kim and Uncle Frank? The 24-hour salad was memorable, especially framed by Auntie Kim's big smile and the characteristic Hanatsu loud voice and hugs. I never could get my gum to pop like she could. Rest easy, Auntie Kim. Gerald is Auntie Kim's nephew and my brother. A few days ago, Karen asked me if I could write a few memories I had about Auntie Kim. And though it has been quite some time that I had last seen and talked to her, I do have some memories. Growing up, I remember a quiet lady with a rich laugh. Rarely did she speak, excuse me, but she listened, and when she did speak, it was well thought out and usually to the point. The memories I have of Auntie Kim and Uncle Frank will always be warm and heartfelt. Rest in peace, Auntie Kim. I'm going in order, so these are my memories, or my memory. When I first was thinking of memories about Auntie Kim, my mind actually went blank. It's not because I don't have a lot of memories, I do. I just thought maybe it would be too hard to bring them up and talk about them. Then I got to talking to my cousin Joni, and we started to talk about some memories we had about Auntie Kim and some of the laughter that brought about, like her big bag of tea that she had grown in her garden, and before her time, of course, because now they would be considered healthy things, but we all thought, oh gee. It became clear it wasn't hard to remember her, and they didn't have to bring sadness. We laughed a lot, and we talked about things that we all remembered. And we figured every memory, no matter how small, has value, so that we can remember that her life had value to each and every one that she came in contact with. I remember clearly that peanut butter pretzel type cookies she made. Loved them. And she made them for me every time I came to visit, or she would just send them home for me with my mom. Auntie was a great baker, and most everything she baked was delicious. That can be attested by all the cousins, the grandkids, everybody. I also remember Auntie was never one to complain. Well, at least to us anyway. In fact, on one of my last visits with her, I asked her how she was doing. I asked, was she cold? Did she have pain? She opened her eyes, and in her very, very quiet, frail voice, she said, what she always said to me, I'm fine. And that's how she always responded. I'll always remember my aunt with love and affection, and we all know, with her brothers and sisters and husbands and wives who have gone before her, they are all having a great New Year's party, like we all were part of when we were growing up. But luckily, someone else is doing the dishes. Bonnie Caldwell is my sister and Kim's niece. One of my earliest memories of Auntie Kim was when I was around 5 or 6 years old. I remember getting a phone call from her, and she never called to talk just to me, but she wanted me to turn on the TV and go to one of the 2 channels we actually had. A weird new show was on, and I had never seen puppets like the ones I was now watching. They were songs, cartoons, puppets, real humans, and they all lived on the same street, Sesame Street. Auntie Kim had heard of this great new show for kids and wanted to be sure I knew about it. I swear I learned to read and count thanks to Sesame Street and Auntie Kim's thoughtfulness. My childhood was made extra special because of the many wonderful memories Auntie Kim helped to create. And although I wasn't able to spend time with her in recent years, I will forever hold our memories close to my heart. Jimmy Hanatsu is Auntie Kim's nephew. What I remember about Auntie Kim was that she never seemed to get angry, except maybe with Uncle Frank. Always had a smile for me like my dad, never seemed to let little things bother her, and perhaps this is one of the keys to a long life. This is from Ken Hanatsu, Auntie Kim's nephew. On behalf of my sister Kimiko Yamakaze in Vancouver and myself, Ken Hanatsu from Phoenix, please accept our sincere condolences for the passing of Auntie Kim. It has been some time since we last met, but we hold her close to our hearts. All the best to the Ohno family in the meantime. Neil is here in person and would like to share his memory.
every Sunday when we were small at the time, I would pay, we would all pack our lunch and head to Henry Lake and go fishing. My family, mom, dad, and me would always get skunked. But Uncle Frank, Auntie Kim, Jenny would always catch the most. But what I remember most about Auntie Kim was she would bring tofu for every week for my dad when she had cancer. Finally, that's what I remember most about Auntie Kim. She was one special aunt to me and my family.
As part of the program, we ask that the sensei give the Dharma talk.
I would like to read White Ashes, written by Renyo Shonen almost 500 years ago. So please listen to these words. In silently contemplating the transient nature of human existence, nothing is more fragile and fleeting in this world than the life of man. Thus we have not heard of human life lasting for 1,000 years. Life passes swiftly, and few among men can maintain their form for even 100 years. Whether I go before others, or others go before me, whether it is today or tomorrow, who is to know? Those who depart before us are as countless as the drops of dew. Though in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may return to white ashes. The body is then sent in an open field and vanishes from this world with the smoke of cremation, leaving only the white ashes. Nothing is more real than this truth of life. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and the old. Therefore, we must one and all turn to the teachings of the Buddha and awaken the essence of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we come to appreciate the meaning of this life, which is to be treasured because it is unrepeatable. By virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unexcelled value of this existence, and let us live together with deep gratitude in our hearts. Namavidavat, Namandavat, Namandavat, Namandavat. First, I would like to extend my deepest sympathy and condolences to all members of the Ohno family, especially Ken and Nancy, for the loss of your dear, loving mother. Just 2, maybe or 3 days before her passing, Nancy asked me to come to the Kimi-chan. I always call her Kimi-chan, and say a few words. So I went to her And at the bedside, I talked to her. She was really close to death. But while I was talking to her, she slightly opened her eyes and looked at me. I told her, "You remember me? This is Reverend Izumi. We always talk to about the Buddha's teachings. So you remember me, right?" I said, "We always say Namo Amida Butsu." Then her eyes really opened and smiled. She wanted to say, "Oh yes, I remember," but she was not able to say anything. I talked to her. "You know, Kimi-chan, Namo Amida Butsu is Amida Buddha's call, compassionate call. Amida Buddha is always saying to us, don't worry. No matter what happens, no worry. Great compassion of Amida is always embracing you, never abandon you." You see, those who listen to Amida's call, compassionate call, we are settled right there. We are settled to be born in Amida's home. Many people say Buddha's teaching is the teaching after we die. No, it is wrong. Right here now, we listen to Amida's call. Amida Buddha knows we will suffer in this limited and changing nature of human life. We all will suffer one day. We will face death. We are all faced with that because our life constantly changing and dying, and our life is short and limited. So one day we will die. So we will suffer, right? But in the midst of our suffering, the sadness and the pain, Amida moves in our life, calling us, "You are not alone. I am always with you. I'll take you to my home, Amida's home." The life of infinite wisdom, boundless compassion that we hear while we are still alive. Here we see Buddha's shrine, small shrine, but it represents Amida's home, enlightenment, visual presentation of enlightenment world, Amida's home. So, in front of Amida's home, we listen to Amida's call, compassionate call, always embracing us, supporting us, never abandon us. Right? So, in this life, while we are still alive, we must listen to Amida's call. Then we'll be born Amida's home. Despite her physical life, Kimiko has returned to, has born to Amida's home now. So we express a deep appreciation to Kimiko. Thank you, Kimiko, for sharing your life with us. We will continue to appreciate Amida's great compassion. So thank you very much. Namandat, 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 namandat.
Thank you, Reverend. Could we please stand and sing verse 3 and 4 of the Gatha Amada? It'll be on the screen. Is now going to say a few words of appreciation and give the closing remarks.
Before I get to the words of appreciation and thank yous, I'd just like to take this opportunity to share a few things about my mom. Although at times she seemed a small or tiny, demure woman, her strength was truly unbelievable. She went through many trials and tribulations throughout her life, health, and of course, like many uprooted from her home. And we won't go through all those things, but I think all of those trials and tribulations that she lived through prepared her for whatever life threw her way, as evidenced by her 94 plus years on this earth. Throughout her life, Mom had several different jobs, whether it was picking strawberries as a young teen in Mission, or of course the back-breaking job of doing the beets, sugar beets on the farms when they were moved out here. At one time, she was a nurse's aide, a bookkeeper for the grocery store that Dad worked at. And I think her last job was working at Broder's Cannery, or Empress Foods in the Quality Control Department, right beside Auntie Janet. But I know, and of course I'm a bit biased, but I believe that she believed that her most important job was being a mom. In fact, I often thought Mom had, or did three tours of duty as a mom, and maybe evidenced by the remarks and memories earlier that it may have been more than 3. I thought her first tour, in my opinion, of being a mom was being mom to her boy Frank, my dad. She took such great care of him, always there. I would often wonder why, growing up, that my dad called my mom, Mom. But it was pretty evident day after day, year after year, that it all made sense. Her second tour of duty as mom, of course, was when they brought me home. Growing up, I can't really remember really wanting for anything within reason. I always had clean clothes to wear, the latest trend in running shoes or track outfit or whatever it might have been. I was always fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and many homemade snacks in between. In fact, when I was 11, 12 years old, whether it was playing Little League Baseball or Pee Wee hockey, on game day, Mom would cook me up this big steak. Of course, it was steak and of course rice and vegetables, and because she thought that would make me the best that I can be out there. And of course, we now know that that's probably not the best thing for her to do. Having a big, huge meal 30 minutes before game time, going out there with a lump in your gut. But that's what she thought was best. And so to all my former coaches or out there that some errors on the infield, moving the ball around, or when I was standing on the blue line, somebody skated by me. No, that was Mom's fault. Seriously though, I couldn't ask for better or want for anything else. She was always there, teaching me right from wrong, trying to, always with her love and support, no matter what. Now that takes us to Mom's third tour of duty. As a mom, the grandchildren, first Ashley and then Brayden, always willing to take them when they're momming. I went off golfing for the day or a movie late at night, it didn't matter. They loved spending time with them and teaching them the very things that they taught me. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Ashley and Brayden learned a lot more from both of their grandmothers and their grandpa than they ever learned from their parents. So, thanks, Mom. For all that you have provided and with all your love and support. Getting on to the thank yous, I'd like to thank everybody for being here, obviously, for braving the cold southern Alberta weather and the other challenges that we live through right now. So it's really appreciated that you're able to be here. Thank you to all the friends and relatives that have called, sent messages, emails, and gifts of flowers and food. Thank you to Reverend Izumi for his service today, and for his friendship to Mom over the many, many years. Thank you to Christensen, Sam, and Generations for all their help in providing the service today and their assistance over the last few days. It's really been a godsend. I would also like to thank the staff and the caregivers at Extended Care Fairmount Park. Their loving care and attention is truly amazing, especially through the toughest times. Special thanks to Karen, my cousin Karen, for chairing today and for sharing those special memories of Mom. Thank you very much. Just a couple of announcements, I guess. I'll continue. There will be, we will be going to the Mountain View Cemetery right after here. But I kind of implore you that you don't have to join us there. It's minus 28 or something out there. We really don't want people to endanger themselves or anything like that. Of course, you're more than welcome, or stay in your vehicle or whatever. But don't feel obligated to come, because it's bitterly cold. And I'd also like to invite all of you, the family, will be having dinner tonight at the modern Chinese restaurant. I'm pretty sure everybody here knows where that is, so. 6 p.m. I know it's, again, cold out there, but if you can stand going out one more time and joining us for a meal tonight, we would love to have everybody join us. And I think that's it. So please, again, it's cold out there, so stay warm, and then hopefully we can all see you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and thank you for the people who are live streaming this as well. We send our regards and tough luck for the Chinese food for you guys. Thank you.
Joining us at the cemetery today. We'll be coming to the parking lot this way and come down the alleyway and you can follow me down 13th Street. That is